All right, guys, I'm gonna move the egg from the syrup. I took some pictures to show you what it was like, but here you can kind of look in to the syrup and you can see that the egg is very wrinkly looking, right? So this is a syrup. I don't want to get it on my phone, so I'm going to be real careful and scoop my egg out as gently as I can. Ooh, it is a little tricky to get on the long side. There we go. So I have my egg, and I'm going to, just for the time being, set it into another measuring cup just so that it's separated from the rest, because I need to measure how much of the syrup is left after doing this part of the procedure. So I'm going to pour that into my measuring cup, and syrup tends to be really thick, so it doesn't like to pour really fast. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pour most of it out, and then I'm going to use a rubber spatula to scrape down anything that was in there that's still stuck to the side of the glass. So I have a rubber spatula, and I'm just going to scrape down the sides of the glass to make sure I have everything out to measure how much I have. Now, if you're doing this at home, don't panic if you don't get it all. It's not the end of the world. We just want to generally see what is the volume after we soaked our egg in the syrup. So there we go. I've scraped out my syrup. There may be a little bit of syrup on my egg, and I'll try and scrape it out of my measuring cup when it's time. And so now what we need to do is measure how much is there. So I'm going to get the camera up closer so you can get a good look at, and unfortunately, let me drop, there we go. I will slide this closer. Okay, so you need to record the measurement that you see here for how many milliliters. So this scale here is milliliters. Make sure you record that. Okay, now what we're gonna do, get my phone propped up again, is I'm gonna set that aside. And I have my measuring cup here ready to go. I'm going to use a clean cup because it does say to measure or to put the egg into water. We're going to use 200 milliliters of water, and I have a new cup to put my egg in so that I don't have to wash that one right now. I'll stick it in my dishwasher. So here's my new cup. I'm going to measure 200 milliliters, and I'm very carefully going to put the egg. So notice how like the egg looks. It's all kind of squishy looking. I'm gonna set that into the new cup, very careful. Okay, hoping not to damage it. And I'm gonna use my measuring cup. I don't see, there's a tiny bit of syrup in there. Let me see if it makes a difference on our measurement. It might add a little bit. Let me bring that close again to you guys so you can see. I think it's about the same as it was before. Yeah, so there's our measurement for our liquid, how much was left after. And now I need to add 200 milliliters here. So I'm going to use my bigger kitchen measuring cup. It does have milliliters on the back side, so I will fill it up with water. 200 milliliters. Needs a tiny bit more. All right, so you can see I have 200 milliliters of water. It's moving now that I'm holding it. I've accidentally tilted it a little bit. There you go. So I'm going to add that by pouring very carefully into the cup with my egg. I'm going to make it so that it runs down the side. So just do a very, very slow adding of the water so it doesn't disturb the egg too much. Okay. And according to our instructions, we need to leave this for 2 days, so 48 hours. You can kind of see, looking at it, you can make some observations. See how wrinkly the egg looks inside there? You can even kind of see, you can see the yolk through the end. The end isn't quite as like opaque as on the sides of the membrane tend to be opaque. So on the end, you can kind of see it's a little clearer. You can see the yolk through it, the yellow. So this needs to stay for 48 hours. I'm gonna cover mine with saran wrap. I know it doesn't say that in the instructions, but I'm gonna cover it because I have it downstairs by my desk, and sometimes my cat likes to get on top of my desk, and I'm worried he'll try and drink out of it or something. So I'm gonna cover it with saran wrap and put that aside for 48 hours, and then we're gonna make some observations.